Trader & Co, which is an amazing space that has allowed Creators Nest to sublease off them and bring our business into here. So that's fantastic. So thank you, Trader & Co. Sophie's one of the representatives. Anyone that hasn't been here before and needs to use the restrooms, they're just outside this door, so at any time. And welcome. So the other thing I wanted to start out with was a little bit of background as to why am I running this, because I wasn't planning to. This is, Regional Pitchfest is actually an organisation that operates out of Wagga, and they approach co-working spaces to organise this information session to give people the opportunity to understand why they should pitch and why bother. And aside from the fact that there's prize money to win, there is a learning experience in actually doing this process. So Fiona passed on those details to me that they were looking for co-working spaces, and then they said that'd be awesome, let's get you to host one. And then the date that I was available, they weren't available. So they said, would you host it? Would you run it? And I said, sure. That's fine. Like I've been in business now for 20 years. So prior to Creators Nest by Marie-Nicole, I was a photographer. And I started to think about this presentation and what I have to offer in terms of how to present a pitch. In the last 12 months, I've had lots of opportunities to actually pitch. But before that, it was more of a marketing sales tool in terms of I turned up to my first possible wedding client's house with a pack of photos that I'd taken from a portrait shoot, and I pitched to them that I could photograph their wedding. I never saw that as a pitch. I always just thought that was a selling technique. But the more I thought about it, how is it that someone could turn up with a wad of photos that has nothing to do with weddings and say, but I can photograph your wedding? It's building that trust, and that's what we need to do in a pitch. We need a 1 minute pitch is very short to be able to get all that information about who we are, what we're about, what's our business, what problem are we solving, and deliver that and build that trust is very tricky, which is why this session's going to be really good to just nut it down, practice it, go from there. So that's me. I am not an expert pitcher, but I am
an award-winning pitcher.
Well, okay. So the next thing that gives me a little bit of credibility is that this year, as a part of our university course, we had a global competition, and it was based on business planning. So we entered in our business plan, but we had to pitch as well. So I did a 3-minute pitch, the initial pitch. So that feels like a lot longer. A minute this is the first time I've done a minute. And after that 3-minute pitch, we also then had to do a 15-minute pitch and actually really expand on our concept and deliver that to a panel of experts, which were business experts and university experts. So that was very interesting. So yes, I did end up becoming a finalist in the national round for that. We're still waiting to find out who the global finalists are. So we'll see. Maybe that'll come through while we're talking. So we're going to talk about, I need my little mouse here. So basically this is just going to run through what the Regional Pitchfest is about. So it's the opportunity to pitch on stage, which I haven't done before, so this will be interesting for me too. I'm actually applying. That's one of the reasons why I'm doing this session myself. I would like to learn how to pitch in a minute, and I'd like to get up on stage and deliver confidently my business plan. So we get to do that on stage. The 5 finalists per state, they get to go away for a weekend. I think it's a weekend. There's an intensive workshop as a part of the prize. So you get to actually take your business idea and go to an accelerator program and develop that with other experts. So that in itself is an invaluable experience. It's open to anyone in regional areas only, which we come under that easily. Because of our regional constraints, with our geographic constraints and having less available to us, that's where the Regional Pitchfest came from. We want to try to keep our youth in the community. We don't want to encourage them to go off to the cities to develop their ideas, because that's why regional towns end up dying with the youth moving on. So there is a $100,000 national prize, but that is broken up. So at the state final level, you get a prize for being a finalist, you get a prize for being a runner-up, And then when you get to the national, you get it again, it staggers down. So the money is a part of it, but it's not the only part.
And defined amounts, Nick?
Yeah, and I think it comes up in a slide down here, so I will, and if it's not there, we'll open up the website and have a look. So I think it's 3,500 for the state, and then 1,500 for a runner-up. So it staggers. The other thing is that anyone who is a state and finalist will be flown to the next destination for the Melbourne business growth program. You actually get your flight and accommodation covered, so you're not out of pocket for that. The final prize is also in Silicon Valley, and that's fully funded as well. So there's quite a bit in it aside from the learning experience. And there's also an online boot camp. I don't know if that makes reference to that, but there's this online boot camp. So for people like you guys, that would be invaluable. It will extend you further than your business studies at school. And it's free. Yeah. So this is free. It's free. There's nothing to be gained, nothing to be lost from doing it. The actual exercise, and you guys wouldn't have done this yet because I hadn't sent you information, but I sent through last night an email for people to write some notes down about their story. Did you get that, Maxine?
Mm-hmm. Yes, I did.
Yeah, so it was to write down a little bit about your business concept, the problem you're solving. We can give you the questions and you can do that later, but that process in itself starts to make you think about the bigger picture and how you're going to achieve it. So it's a good learning experience. So actually going through the application is valuable in itself. There's always going to be an opportunity to deliver your pitch. If you meet someone and they say, what are you interested in? And you go, I want to start my own business. That is an opportunity to practice your pitch. So having that little 1 minute snapshot of what you're about is invaluable in itself. And take any opportunity to share it with anyone. So we do it here at Creators Nest now. Every time a customer walks in, we tell them what the bigger picture concept is, and the more we say it, the tighter it gets, because we don't have much time to sit there and give them a full 5-year plan, so we've got to get it across in a grab. I just wanted to see what else they're telling me I should tell you about. Other than that, the connection to other. There's going to be connections that you're going to make with other people. That'll be a big part of it. We have that through our grad cert course at the moment. Fiona and I met through doing the course. So this kind of thing, being able to go along to a session and meet other people. I'd never met Maxine before today, so because we've put this session on and she's come in to work on her pitch, that in itself is a connection that we wouldn't have had otherwise. The types of people that have actually won in the past, and this is interesting because some people are probably wondering why their business would be picked as a finalist. The first person that won was a 13-year-old, and he is now onto his 3rd business. So it doesn't have to be a mature age person that enters and wins. They've had not-for-profits, they've had an inventor, a property developer, online mechanics course creator, 2 guys with a golfing app and a running app, Bella Box for Australian design clothes, designer cooler bag, a film producer, and a polish product company. So there's quite a diverse range. It's not stipulated that you have to be a tech company, which a lot of people, they've actually been promoting that a lot. It doesn't have to be technology based. It can still be a physical based business or a product based business. And as you can see, even artisans get a mention, so we can all enter. So, has anyone looked at the application? Has it been online?
Very quickly.
Yeah. And what was your first impression?
Well, they want to know about you, but be concise. Know what you actually want to pitch.
Yeah.
They don't want you to spend lots of time doing lots of stories. They want 150 words on that section, etc., etc.
Did it feel easy to go through the process? It didn't make your heart tighten and go, oh, how am I going to do that?
Oh, only because I'm taking time off work to pitch, do something different.
Yeah.
That's the difficulty, not the words, if you want.
Yeah, no, that's good. So did you guys get to have a look at it online? It'll be, I mean, you'll have to if you apply, but it's a good idea too if you can get on there and have a look. Because it is, even if you don't apply for something, if you decide not to do this one but you want to consider applying for other, I can direct you to some other grants that you can look at and see the process that you're going to have to go through for the grants. So keep that in mind. Now the other thing is if we all bring phones to do your pitch at the end, we're just going to run through the slides that they have here, and then we will do a workshopping session where you get a chance to give it a go. So 60 seconds doesn't sound like a long time, but it can feel like a long time. And it also is a short period of time to get a lot across. So breaking it down into easy, manageable steps is going to be an important part. Now, let's see. So we look at the slide. Go back. Oh, that's what I knew would happen if I used my mouse. Can you go back on that? So. So if you have any questions whatsoever, they have a pretty extensive frequently asked questions section, but there isn't an awful lot of time right now to really study it. So we're going to make the most of that opportunity today. So if you wanted to get onto the website while somebody else is doing their pitching and video, we can do that together. But the next thing I wanted you to do is, do you want notepad and pen? Okay. So what we're going to do now is we're going to go through your questions. And you're going to help each other.